Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today I'm gonna give you a high-level overview of all my tricks and tips about worksheets in terms of financing, what to charge for Invisalign versus in-house aligners versus braces, down payments, third-party financing, in-house financing. Wow, there's a lot going on. So listen, I've been in this world, in this ortho world for 20 years. Things have changed a lot, like a lot in the last decade. As you know, 20 years ago, only orthodontists were doing ortho. There really was no clear aligners. It was braces and braces and braces and some functional appliances and braces. We got the referrals. 10 years later, we got lots of general dentists doing it. 5 years beyond that, we've got direct to consumer doing it. So the way in your own practice that you need to execute this is going to be really different than it was a decade ago, and really different than it was 2 decades ago. So I'm going to kind of catch you up with the latest, greatest, what people are doing, what's working, what's not working. Though most of you know that right now I'm full-time in consulting, practice management, product development. I no longer have my own practice. Not saying I won't go back to doing it, but at the moment I'm busy. But I have the joy of talking to literally dozens of dentists per week and industry professionals, and I'm always learning, always reinventing, seeing what works, what doesn't work, who's profitable, who's not profitable, and I've got lots of tricks and tips. So of course, for resources, just to recap, you can go to my YouTube. I have almost 1,000 videos just on my YouTube alone. That's totally free. I just do these to be fun. Yeah, sure. If I get a client from one of them, that's great. If I don't, I'm just sharing my knowledge, leaving a legacy. So go there, StraightSmile Solutions YouTube. Also, I archive my old webinars at letter G, letter P, webinar.com, gpwebinar.com. All my best webinars are archived there for kind of if you want to go more in deep with different topics. Lastly, if you're willing to spend $9.99, you should definitely buy my book. That's the Kindle version. It's $49 for the paperback version. If you go to my website, StraightSmileSolutions.com, there's a link to my book right there. Can't miss it. It's available at Amazon. There's so much tricks and tips in there. But this is not a webinar. This is just like me talking, but this is going to be super useful for you today. Been kind of thinking about this. So I'm going to be creating a worksheet. It's going to be an actionable worksheet where you can plug in numbers, and you could actually rebrand this worksheet and use it in your practice. It will be free for any doctor who is one of my clients, one of my concierge, premium, or VIP clients. To learn more about that, go to my website, StraightSmileSolutions.com. It will be available on my store for $20. You can go to my store right now. It's not up yet because I haven't finished it, but it will be available at some point in my store for you to purchase a la carte, or you can just contact me and purchase it, and I will send you an invoice for that. But in any case, this is going to be a worksheet for you to customize, make it your own. Of course, anytime we're talking about prices and contracts, you need to talk to your own attorney. I'm not an attorney, okay? And every state is different. Every country is different. I'm just going to tell you how I do it, how other people are doing it. And from there, you need to do what's right for you, for your own Dental Practice Act, for your own state and country laws. Okay, so let's start with the first talking point, which is Invisalign versus generic aligners versus braces. I completely agree with one thing that Align Technology says. I don't think you should charge different from braces or aligners. Same price, don't charge different. And the other big mistake people do, besides that's a mistake, to charge more for aligners, because to be really honest, first of all, aligners are actually faster in general. They're healthier, they're slower. You can treat any case with aligners that you can treat with braces. I'm not saying it's always faster, but most of the time it is. It's slower and lower forces. It's healthier for the teeth, gum, and bones. So sometimes people really want the colors. They really want braces. Great. There's some certain types of cases, and I've got a zillion videos on this, where it might be more efficient with braces, but mostly it's healthier and quicker with aligners, believe it or not. So you're going to have way less chair time, way less dental assistant time, way less doctor time with braces or aligners with aligners than you would with braces. So even though you might have a lab fee, you're actually going to net more over time if you do it efficiently and effectively. And again, this is if you're doing it right. If you're not doing it right, you're going to waste money. So before you jump into doing any of all of this, first you need to get your systems in place. So this is what you do after your system's in place. And part of getting your systems in place is going to be making sure that when you do an aligner case, or when you do a braces case, but mostly when you do an aligners case, that you're doing it efficiently, effectively, and productively, and you're not doing a lot of refinements, revisions. Your patients are satisfied. You're getting great outcomes. Until you can control that, and that includes most likely having some type of virtual consult program, some type of virtual check-in program. If you're doing Invisalign, they have all that. But a lot of doctors don't only do Invisalign. They're going to do Invisalign. They're going to do functional appliances. They're going to do some type of in-house or white label aligners or off-label aligners. They're going to do alternative aligners. They're going to do braces. They're going to do a lot of different things because different patients want and looking for different things. So they're going to have, a lot of things on their menu. They're going to have retention, lots of things. So you want to make sure, first of all, you got your pricing good. Second of all, you got your systems and your flow up in place and that everything's turning out successful. If you're still having an over 50% revision refinement rate, you're not ready to scale this yet. So get that under control first. Could be the treatment plan. We'll be glad to help you with that. It could be the manufacturing. I can't help you with that. That's just picking the right vendor. It could be your technicians aren't that good. Well, obviously change your vendor or learn how to control it. It could be the fact that you're not creating a good accountability loop. And I have tons of videos on that, how to create a good accountability loop, how to use a lot of software programs that are out there like GP Ortho Tracking or Align Flow or dental monitoring to make sure you have a tight, short leash on your patient and an excellent accountability loop. Once you get all that stuff in place, then you're ready to do all this, okay, which is I call scaling. All right. So again, same price. Don't charge more for Invisalign or aligners versus braces. Same price. So second of all, you need to be careful with what cases you're picking for your alternative aligners because not all of them are going to turn out perfectly. Also, with a lot of alternative aligners, not all, there are some systems that are out there that do include revisions and refinements, but they're not always as cheap. But if you're using like plain white label in-house generic, even if you're outsourcing, you need to make sure you've got your processes perfect, down pat. You got the flow going. You got your accountability loop going, because you will waste mucho money if you don't have everything set up. Okay. So, and also I wouldn't be taking super hard cases, easy cases only with in-house. If it's a harder case and they really don't want Invisalign and they want in-house because they want to maybe have the lower price point, then you can do something like hybrid, which is where you could perhaps start off with the brackets. Of course, you want to do indirect bonding and then switch to your in-house aligners. That's another alternative, okay? So discuss this. I mean, obviously there isn't one size fits all approach. So depending on your demographics, where you're practicing, are you rural? Are you urban? Are you in an affluent area? Are you coastal? Are you flyover country? Different parts of the world and the United States are looking for different things. You need to see what your competition is offering. What is your competition charging? You also need to just start, if you're a general or pediatric dentist, I mean, you've got a gold mine going on with opportunities. So often, first of all, you can't just like hang an Invisalign poster on the wall and think that patients are going to come to you, because mostly they won't. They're just like, oh, that's annoying. They're just advertising, right? Every single practice almost in the country has an old Invisalign poster hanging up. Okay, that doesn't work anymore. That's what worked 15, 20 years ago when that was a one-off. Now everybody's doing it, right? So the main thing is creating awareness and subtly creating awareness in an educational and just informative way, not in a salesy way. So, and not just you creating the awareness, it is you and your staff and your RDH and your office manager in a friendly and educational way. First step is, of course, to get everyone in your office in aligners or braces. And I don't even care if they're done with their treatment, then you still put them in retainers and you call them aligners. Everybody's in them. We want them to be advertising the braces, Invisalign, aligners, clear aligners, retainers to every single patient. Just wear them during the day. And of course, you're not charging your team for this, okay? That is the best walking advertisement, is having your team in aligners and braces. So get everyone in there and don't charge them, okay? Free marketing. Okay. Secondarily, like I said, you want to get your systems up and running, but you want to create awareness, and that involves just educating your team on the benefits so that they can then educate patients on the benefits. They're looking for keywords, they're looking for comments. I've got, again, tons of videos on this. So if you can't find them, just email me, info@straightsmilesolutions.com, or message me through my website, straightsmilesolutions.com, and I'll send them to you. I know where they all are. I just got to dig them up. Just tell me what you want to know. But the main thing is that you want to make sure, and it's actually standard of care to be informing your patient of their need for orthodontics. It's not, do you want an orthodontic exam? That is the dumbest thing to do. You don't ask that question. You just do it as a standard part of, I'd say, a yearly exam, not every 6 months, but every year. And I like to tell doctors, hey, 30, 40 years ago, I remember in like 1980s when my doctor didn't wear gloves. And then I remember all of a sudden they're wearing gloves, right? Things change. We do new things. We add new things to the experience. So what else changed? Perioprobing. That probably didn't get added till the 90s, right? People weren't doing that standard. Oral cancer screening, that didn't get added to the 90s. So we're adding new things. So an orthodontic screening is a yearly thing. You can do it every 6 months, but I think every year is fine. That you're going to add onto the yearly exam. It can be done by the doctor. The screening can be done by the hygienist. Either way, don't care who does it. It can even be done by the dental assistant. You know, the light screening, opening up the conversation and then escalating it to the doctor as needed. And a lot of times patients feel a lot more comfortable talking to the assistant or the hygienist than they do the doctor. They just kind of clam up. Sometimes they get intimidated talking to the doctor. And I love to reward dental assistants and hygienists for whoever got that conversation started. If that patient starts within the week, give a timeline, obviously. And we can spin it back to you. You were the one that opened it up. You were the one that took the updated records, the scan, the photos, the pano as needed. Then you get a bonus. You get a bonus and you get a bonus. So whatever your bonus is what it is. It could be a gift card. You could get a ticket. I've seen offices that do a ticket. They just make it easy, and the ticket goes in a raffle that is done quarterly or monthly. And with that, there's, cash, there's gift cards, there's big things, there's small things. That's really, really, really fun. Like doctors and patients. Doctors like it because there's variability. The thing about incentives is it gets really dry, but you could definitely shake it up. You could have your team vote on it, It can be tricky because a lot of times there's a lot of hands in on it. So you want to be very clear how this incentive works. If whoever started it and completed it from start to finish, that means you took the records, you started the conversation, you escalated to the doctor, and the patient started within a certain time frame of that exam. That's the key. The patient actually has to start. So whoever was the one that did that, got the ball rolling, is the one that gets the incentive, however you want to do it. And I really love bringing that incentive to the team and having them to design the incentive plan, whether it's like small amount of cash or if it's a variety. And, every quarter we sit down, we have a lunch and we pull out our raffle tickets and, see who won, So like literally one office I did, anytime that you had a start or you attributed to a start. So that makes it a little easier. You got a raffle ticket, right? You write your name on it, you drop it in the bin, right? So if there was the hygienist and the assistant that had something to do with the start, and obviously the office manager and probably the doctor need to sign off on who was involved in it, right? Or the team can write their names down, and then just get verified. But, obviously the more raffle tickets you're putting in, the more likely you are to win the raffle. And there should be a really nice grand prize in there too, something that, $500 or more, at least one of them, and then a lot of smaller stuff. So the more raffle tickets you're putting in, the more likely you are to win. That really gets you excited to come to work and to talk about ortho. And it could be any type of big procedures. It doesn't have to be just ortho. You could change this to implants and everything else too. You could do lots of things, but obviously start small, right? Okay, so we talked about this. We talked about same price. Not everyone is an in-house candidate. Everyone is an Invisalign candidate once they've got their work done. Most people are braces candidates, but not everyone. If they have a lot of crowns, they're not a braces candidate for me. Also, I like open bites better with Invisalign than I do braces. Okay, down payments. So again, biggest mistake that you can do is to require a down payment for ortho, okay? Patients, once they're at all interested in ortho, they're going to get all these different Facebook ads targeted to them from all the different direct-to-consumer aligner companies, other aligner companies, Invisalign, blah, blah. So they know that you can start these things for no down. And that might be an issue. Patients really like subscription models. They like monthly, low to no monthly payments. Not everyone, but a lot of patients do. So you don't want to insult somebody for wanting no down payment, but then again, you don't want to penalize somebody for wanting to pay it up front. So you got to be really ambiguous and don't assume what a patient needs or wants. So again, everyone should be able to start ortho for no down payment as an option, okay? I'm not saying there might not be additional fees, but for Invisalign, and on my worksheet that I'm going to be creating, this will be an easy way to plug and play and try different things. But obviously, if they want Invisalign, there's going to be a down payment, right? Or they can use one of these third-party financing offers. There are third-party financing that, of course, is going to do credit checks, right? And there's ones that are going to charge fees, but there's also ones that don't do credit checks. They're just looking at the patient's regular payment history, if they're responsible. One of the ones I like is called Verity. If you want to be introduced to them, they're still kind of beta testing the ortho a little bit. So I don't know if it's something you can contact them, but if you contact me and I think you're a good candidate, I will send you to my friends at Verity and they will check it out. They obviously want to see that you're doing ortho, that you have your systems up and working. They pick their doctors very carefully. But if you're interested in that, there is no down payment for the patient. There is a small monthly fee for the patient, around $20 to spread it out over time, but it's something that's doable, And then again, I think the doctor's also going to take a small haircut as well, but it's not something crazy, but you're getting guaranteed money coming into your account every month. They take the risk. You don't. You get your money no matter what. Even if the patient defaults, you still get your money. So it's no risk. And I'm telling you, the people that were doing this during COVID were thrilled because they're still getting their money every month, no matter what, because they're still getting paid every month, even if the patients aren't paying the third party thing. So that's why it's really, really nice to just have that monthly payment coming in. Of course, you should always offer a cash discount. That's really important. And I like to offer not a 2%, 3%, like a nice 5 to 7% upfront cash discount. You would be surprised how many people will go for it. I mean, to me, a lot of times, if I go to buy something big, whether it's a cosmetic thing or something like that, or I go to the store, I'm never going to do credit check, But if they're offering me to pay over time for no fees, I'm going to take the pay over time. But if they offer me a nice cash discount, I'm going to take that. If it's 2%, forget it. I'm not doing it. But if it's 5 or 7, 10%, I'm doing it. So, yeah, you should offer. You'd be surprised. Offer everyone that upfront cash discount. You'd be surprised how many people are going to do it. And when I mean cash, less for credit card, okay? More for cash. And of course, you don't want check. So, just be a little bit careful with that. So it could be different for credit card versus cash. You'd be surprised how many people come in with stacks of cash. So, it happens. Again, credit check doesn't have to happen. There's third-party finance without credit check. There's third-party finance with credit check. It's more about the doctor and the type of patients you have. So not all offices can do the no credit check option. But if you get accepted, this will totally transform your practice because now you can offer no down. Yay. And still do Invisalign. And you'd be surprised when you have no down and low monthly payments, even if you're getting that 5% haircut or whatever it is and the patient's paying $20 a month, the number of yeses to the treatment will go up exponentially, Again, you need to create some awareness behind the why of the patients getting the ortho. Take photos. That's the best way to do it, is to take a set of photos and to go over those photos with the patient, blow it up on the big TV screen and say, hey, look, over time, we see that your attrition's getting worse. Over time, your abfractions are getting worse. Your crowding is getting worse. Point out everything that is getting worse. And once you have a series of sequential photos over a period of years, even if it's just last year and this year, most occlusion issues, most concerns, orthodontic concerns get worse. They don't get better. Very rarely do they get better in adults. So eventually, ultimately, you just want to educate the patient and let them know that these are progressive conditions. They will continue to get worse. Over time, the sequelae or the outcome is going to be loss of teeth. Loss of teeth is significantly more expensive to get an implant or implants. or crowns and root canals, then it's going to be to just do some easy ortho now. The great news is they are a candidate for in-house aligners or alternative aligners, which isn't as expensive maybe as this. So you can have two price points, one for in-house versus Invisalign. Not everyone is a candidate for in-house, but if they are, it might be $1,000 less, and you can go over that with them. And sometimes just having those two different price points gets them excited. I like to charge the same for braces as I do for Invisalign and be a little cheaper for in-house because, again, it benefits me because I have less office visits. And then they're like, oh, yeah, okay. Wow, I never thought aligners would be cheaper than braces, and they'll go for it, right? But again, not complicated cases. What else? Cash discount we talked about, third-party financing we talked about. So many things to go over, so many different ways. How much should you charge? Again, do some secret shopping of the other either specialists or Invisalign or braces providers around you. Find out what people are charging. You want to be very stealth about that, but you need to have an awareness of how other people are doing things. Otherwise, if you're charging $1,000, $2,000 more than everyone else, and you're charging a higher down payment than everyone else, you're not gonna get any, clients. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna go elsewhere, and if they go elsewhere, they're probably gonna take their general dentistry elsewhere too. So it's a huge loss. Doing ortho is an amazing way to retain your practice, especially if you're offering free retainer checks or even retainers for life, as long as they are an active patient in your practice. I wouldn't fully do it for life. I would offer a low fee for replacement retainers as long as they're coming in every 6 months for their regular general dental checks are coming in regularly. I like to tell the story about how when I got my engagement ring, my wedding ring, they were really smart. They said, as long as you come in within 1 month or on the month of your anniversary of your wedding and get your ring checked, we offer free lifetime replacement of diamonds, even if they fall out. And I was like, wow, that's cool. So of course I went in like every year on the anniversary, and sometimes they actually did some stuff. One time, one of my little diamonds fell out. They replaced it for free. Then what happened? I forgot to go in one year. I was busy. And then I had some damage done. Wasn't free. So what a great way to get people coming in your office, and you're coming in and you're probably going to buy other stuff anyways. You're like, as long as I'm here, I'll take my kids and my family. So that is a great way just to keep people coming in. And, ortho patients will stay in your practice because, they're coming in for their free retainer checks. They're coming in for their regular monthly visits or their, a couple times a year visits. And they're going to get other cosmetic work done while they're there. And maybe they'll get that Botox done, and maybe they'll get their cleanings done. And they'll bring their friends and family as long as they come because they're coming anyway. So this is a great way to keep your office hopping by offering affordable aligners, affordable braces with low to no down payments, and great financing over time. Definitely consider it. And let's talk a little bit more about, different types of third-party financing. I know we talked about it briefly, but like I said, there's ones that offer the credit, that require a credit check. There's ones that don't. You can also do in-house financing, but I would proceed very cautiously with that because the problem with in-house is you're assuming the risk. So for in-house financing, I would definitely require a down payment. I would pick your consumers carefully for that. Also, you want to do a really short period of time. One of the things that some people are doing, which is kind of smart, and for the in-house financing, for in-house aligners only, okay? So in-house and in-house, is that they will basically have you pay per aligner. So it's pretty smart. And you can do this with some of these white label or alternative aligner companies, not so much with Invisalign. Now, I proceed cautiously and consult your attorney on this too, because I think different states will say different things, different dental practice acts will say different things, but I know some doctors doing this and it's working out. So what they're doing is patients pay for what they can afford. If they tell you, I can only afford $2,000, then okay, well that will get you say 7 aligners or 10 aligners only or something like that, total, upper and lower. So you can get 4 and 4 or 5 and 5 or 10 and 0 or something like that. And you give them a predictable treatment plan that is just an improvement for that number of aligners. Obviously, we don't want to put them in traumatic occlusion. We want to benefit them. We want their occlusion to improve. We want their aesthetics to improve. We don't want to put them in an awkward position where it makes things worse, because sometimes when you start a aligner treatment, you're in those transitional or awkward positions. So this wouldn't be for everyone. This would be for an aesthetic only case, not a functional case, where an improvement still helps, right? They pay for what they can, and when they finish that, then, and the cool thing about white label aligners is that you can do that. So, and feel free to contact me. I'll connect you with a lot of the different companies that are out there, but a lot of them will allow you to do that. Pay for what you need, and they'll show you just an improved setup where it's just improved. That's all it is. It's just a little bit better than it was, but it's not perfect. And that's okay. What you don't want to do is you don't want to show them perfect and say, oops, you didn't get there. Sorry. You know, that is a mistake, because you showed them what they're expecting and they didn't get there because it wasn't a realistic treatment plan or they weren't compliant. And now I think you're obliged to finish the case. So it's a little bit different, but it really works well. And then if they want to continue and do a little bit more 6 months down the road, they can pay the additional price for the additional 5, 10, aligners, upper and lower. And ultimately they may end up paying for the full thing, but they're not fully committed to it. So I love that idea. Pay as you go, pay for what you get. Nothing wrong with that. Again, proceed cautiously, talk to your attorney, talk to your liability insurance company to see if that is okay. I do not have that kind of paperwork. I have a lot of different templates for different contracts. Again, I'm not an attorney. So that one, I think you need to be a little more cautious about how that works, because I can see that spiraling downhill really fast if the patient doesn't fully understand how that works. So I think you'd really have to have a crystal clear contract. And purposely, I'm not writing one, even though I probably could, because every state and every country is different. And I don't want you to think that it's okay, So create your own if you want to do that. I don't think that's really necessary unless you have like a really low income thing with a lot of competition and you think that's necessary, if people are really asking for it. I'm not a huge fan of improvement only, but there's a bunch of direct-to-consumer companies that are doing just that, and they seem to be doing okay at it. So if that's something you think you can sleep well at night doing improvement, then go for it. I'm not saying I've done it, but I'm saying I know doctors that are doing it, and it seems to be working fine. So I'm just creating the awareness. I'm not saying to do it. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful. There was a lot of tricks and tips. I'll keep working on my worksheet. Hopefully it'll be available in the next week or so. Again, for clients only. Otherwise, there will be a fee to purchase it. But hopefully it is helpful for you. All right, thanks so much.